No, I don't think so. I don't. What is it, 2,900 feet or something? Yeah, I don't. We haven't talked about it a little, not one bit, really. Not when you play in Denver, and it's a little bit different. So.
Well, just how about a new environment altogether?
No question. I mean, first of all, the flight. I mean, that's something we got to deal with. Well, both teams do, but it's going to be a long flight. And then the other thing is the fields. What's the field going to look like? Those are all things that you just, you really can't control. So, we're excited though. I mean, the team is excited about going. I feel it with the players. I'm 63 now. I'm not really excited to go 11 hours on a plane, but it is what it is. So, to play a football game, I mean, this is crazy to me. But
these talks might happen like a week or two ago. But how thrilled were you that Remigio, as an organization, was someone that you guys were going to keep on?
Yeah, I mean, you think about Nikko. I mean, he's been our starter. I mean, he's for the last 8 games that we've played, he's been our guy. And and I've gotten used to having him back there, and he just keeps getting better. And he really had a great training camp, and he's become a leader for us. As far as his work ethic and everything he's about. And he's a great teammate, and and he's a good guy, really. And I'm happy he's on a team.
David, in an instance like this, if you could draw it up, would you prefer to be able to have a practice at the stadium more the day of the game, or?
Yeah, just to be able to see the field, or whatever. But we'll do that in pregame, and it's going to be the same I think for both teams. There's no advantage either way. I just it is what it is.
And you can only pick it up by word of mouth at this point. I mean, is there a way you study the conditions actually at this stage, or it doesn't make any sense to you?
Yeah, no, because they said it's going to be different. They had issues with it last year, and then now it's going to be better. So, I mean, we take that for what it's worth, and we'll see.
We assume that Nico's going to be back there for kickoffs, but who are the other guys that could potentially be back there?
Yeah, you can see Taekwon, you can see Brashard. Those are the guys that you'll see back there.
What did you see from Taekwon and?
I saw somebody that hits it fast. He's got great speed. He's a willing blocker, so that's important. I talked about that before, how important that off returner is to be able to single block somebody. He's going to have to block somebody. Nikko does that as well if he gets the ball, and then Brashard is still working on it and getting better and better each day. So he had a good game too, by the way, in that last game. So that was good to see with him. We talked about getting him a lot more touches. We did, and and he showed up. So it was good to see.
You see LA's return game.
Excuse me.
LA's return.
Yeah, yeah. Darius Davis is very good, excellent, dynamic. Not a real big guy, but man, he is quick and fast and shifty. And you have to be sound. Covering him. You can't overcommit one way or the other. He'll cut it back on you. So we got our hands full with him for sure. And we know those guys. I mean, we play them twice a year. A great coach. Ficken does a great job, and the punter, and the kicker, Dicker the kicker they're both excellent. And the thing they have a change at the long snapper, but they got looks like they got a veteran, Lovato. So we played against him. He was at the Eagles last year, so we know him. But he's an experienced guy, so they won't miss a beat. They're solid across the board.
Last one, anyone? Thanks,
After
Coach.
going through the new kickoff rules now with 3 preseason games, are you comfortable with your approach in handling that? Just now that you've gone through it.
Yeah, we're not. What you saw is what we're going to do. I mean, we weren't trying to hide anything. We were just trying to practice, and we know that we're going to get more returns. So tried to practice fielding crazy punt kicks, and then as far as kickoffs go, be sound in what we do as far as coverage. And we know there's a lot more plays. I'm excited about it, and I really am. It's going to be good for special teams, and the fans are going to love it.
I think it's for sure the mindset. It started not just right now, but it started in OTAs, and for him, it's when you start looking at just whether it's a progression I'll use, for example, if there's something where there's a post over the top, or if there's something as simple as a guy in the flat with an intermediate route. It's the mindset of, being able to know you might not throw the post, but you're going to start there. And it's always been that way, but I think the repetitive nature of where we're at, it's important, and he's had that. I mean, the whole since OTAs. You know, we talk internally. We have some reminders for him, and you know, it's good for him and those guys. They're embracing it. I think it's, you know, now we got to just go out there and play within the play.
Any good subtle reminders?
There's a few acronyms we have that are good, and I think they get to the point. You know, but I'll keep that internal.
Matt, Josh Simmons said yesterday that Ohio State really prepared him for this. Have you noticed something different in him compared to other rookies?
I'd say the biggest thing with Josh is to that point is when you're playing in front of, you know, that many people at that big of a game every week. And his O-line coach that he had, Coach Fry, did a heck of a job with him. He's really prepped him well in coming into this role. And so I think now it's on Josh to be able to take that and make mistakes, but then not make the same mistake twice. There's a mentality to that, and he's been really good with that. Preseason has been great for him. You also kind of have to have that mindset internally of who you are, of a belief in yourself that if you do mess up, you don't, you know, you're ready for the next time that happens to dominate it. And I think that's what he's had, just a really great mindset with those challenges.
He spoke yesterday and was asked a question about just, you know, starting his first pro game. It seems pretty even keeled. Is that how he is, or is it just talking to us?
No, he's even keel. There's nothing to that. He's been a guy that really he's been impressive for being a rookie and being, you know, thrown into this from the very first play, then to stay there and continue to just work hard and fight through his mistakes. That's the biggest thing that I've seen, is being able to be persistent, resilient, stay true to what he does, believe in it, and then he's got good coaching, Coach Heck and Coach Matei.
Man, just taking a step back with a guy like Josh or a guy like Jalen in the draft process, how much do you scout those guys? How much do you collaborate with the front office? Just how does that all work?
It's a good deal with Veach and the scouting department, the personnel. I think they do a really good job of making sure that using our time the right way, because what happens is we get into the off season and we're so locked in as coaches on trying to scheme eval. And when you go late into the season like we have, there's a balance to your work. So what they've done, I think, has been really great, is they go ahead and give us a cloud of guys that they really want to put an emphasis on, and those guys were in that cloud. And so when we watch them as coaches, you get to kind of put your own opinion on those players, and then they can value or devalue what you say or what you think. And that's, you know, they're doing this a lot longer than we are, coming off a season and watching guys. We're giving more of a 30,000-foot view.
Couple more. We'll start with Vahe Orson.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you about the environment there. Obviously, you guys went to Germany a couple of years ago. There's a certain energy to these international games with got a couple guys like Josh, like Kingsley playing left guard. How do you prepare them for the fact that this is a primetime game, a different energy in the stadium, and adding to maybe the pressure that they might already feel a little bit?
Just prepping them as much as you can on the front end, and then you can't really simulate it. It's every time you go to play a game out of the country, we always talk about there's like this constant buzz that goes on in the stadium where it's really not super loud, but it's not quiet. So I think until you're there and you understand that. So we're going to obviously do what we need to do with snap counts and whether it's cadence or verbal, et cetera. But for those guys, just understand, you know, now, and more than anything for these guys, when you're out there as any type of rookie, it's no longer preseason. This is the real deal. So I think that's probably the biggest thing, and then the atmosphere that goes with it is a part of it.
We'll go Vahe and then Nate.
Matt, just as Patrick starts this season, you all are obviously, but what do you think of as the single thing or two that has changed most in him since you first knew him when he came in? What is the greatest difference in who he is today?
Probably his consistent drive to be great. And when I say that, it sounds pretty easy to say, but when you do the things that he has done early in his career and he comes back the next year and wants to do more, and work harder and be a greater leader. He truly leads by example. He's not a guy that is one that, I mean, he leads in every way possible. On the field, I think what's happened is we've really done a good job, or he's done a good job at being able to step back where he's at now in his career and say, you know what, individually for him, let's get back to the basics, let's get back to fundamentals, and let's get back to progressions. And that's where we've been challenged as a staff to make sure that we hold him accountable, and he wants that. And so, like, it's a all-encompassing deal, but the leadership, the drive to be great every year and be better is just, it's not normal, and I think he does a great job with that.
Last one, Nick.
I'm not sure if anybody asked you this earlier, but Pacheco had a full off season. He obviously looks at his burst that he had obviously a couple years ago. Just what makes you most eager about seeing him in this new context on Friday?
Well, we've always said, Nate, that he's our energy. He's our energy guy. Whatever he does, he brings it every single play. Last year we lost a little bit of that when he got hurt, and then he came back, and I don't know if he was, with his weight and everything, with where exactly he was, but he came into this year in OTAs and then into training camp with a really good weight, playing fast. You see it on tape. I mean, you see him finishing every single play. There's this focus that he has right now. He's locked in. I think he's very, very motivated. He felt what we felt last year, and so he's a leader now. I mean, he's heading into, this is no longer his first or second year. He's become a leader, and we need him.